Hello everyone, welcome to continue the study. Next, we'll take a look at the fourth dimension, human resources. Human resources is one of the most important dimensions in the endowment structure of county resources. It can be further subdivided into two subdimensions of primary labor resources and human capital. China's most populous city, Puning, county-level city, reached 2.472 million people, while Gushi City, which ranked 10th on the list, also had 1.74 million people. China has more than 2,800 county-level administrative units, with an average population of more than 500,000 people in each one. To this end, counties with a population of less than 400,000 can be classified as small-scaled. The ones with a population of 400,000 to 700,000 can be defined as medium-scaled. The ones with a population of 700,000 to 1 million as upper-middle-scaled, and with population over 1 million, those are called large-scale counties. The county's endowments of human resources generally have the following vital characteristics. Compared with cities, counties gather a larger number of rural population, including agricultural labor and rural employees, which are the main source of surplus labor. Their education level is low, hence the low human capital. At the same time, the distribution of human resources between counties is also greatly different, leading to huge differences in labor resources and human capital. There are many large counties with population over 1 million, as well as small counties with population less than hundreds of thousands. The differences exist not only population, but also in the population structure, with a yet relatively stable endowment structure at a given time. Having said that, it still will change with time in various aspects such as the natural growth of the population and the continuous accumulation of human capital through education, cultivation, and experience. A county's human resources need to match and adapt to the county's industrial structure. Fifth, physical resources. Physical resources is another major dimension in the county's resource endowment structure, which includes fixed assets and financial resources formed by all investments in the past. The liquidity of fixed assets is relatively low, whose degree of specificity depends on the type of industry. It's difficult to reinvest fixed assets that have been formed in one industry into another different industry. By observing the fixed asset investment quota and its industry composition, we can roughly estimate the physical capital stock and its structure of a county. Therefore, in addition to the difference in quantity due to diversified industrial types, the physical capital accumulated in the form of fixed assets is highly heterogeneous among counties. The liquidity of financial resources is relatively high, and the degree of specificity is low, so it can be invested into almost all industries. An important indicator for measuring counties' financial resources is the deposit balance of its financial institutions. This indicator alone can show us how huge the differences in financial resource endowments among counties are. For example, the balance of local and foreign currency deposits of financial institutions in Qinyuan City at county level reached 437.94 billion yuan in 2017, and the total RMB deposits of financial institutions in Changsha County in 2017 mounted to 112.01 billion yuan, while the balance of various deposits of financial institutions in Changzhou County in 2017 totaled only 15.02 billion yuan. Both fixed assets and financial resources are the result of the accumulation of physical capital in the past. Therefore, at a given point in time, the material resource endowment and its structure are set. However, they can change over time. See Figure 4. In fact, compared with other types of resource endowments, the accumulation rate of material resources is the fastest. Sixth, technical resources. Like human resources and material resources, technological resource endowment is also an important dimension of the resource endowment structure. Naturally, technical resource endowments have different structural dimensions and can be divided into different types according to the different classification criteria too. For example, according to the spreadability, it can be divided into two types. One is unspeakable tacit knowledge, expressed as experience in process, and the other is standardized scientific knowledge, such as patents. According to the degree of versatility, it can be divided into two types. One is general purpose technology, GPT, that can be applied to all industries, such as the steam engine that appeared in the first industrial revolution, the electrification that occurred in the second industrial revolution, and the appearance of informatization in the third industrial revolution, and the artificial intelligence on the rise. The other is the special technology that can only be used in specific industries and specific fields. For most counties, it barely creates its own original general-purpose technology, but more of just adopting some. At present, various counties in China have basically popularized electrification, but the popularity of informatization varies from one county to another, let alone the artificial intelligence. The special technology endowment expressed in the form of patents vary greatly in various counties. This difference is not only reflected in the number of patents, but more importantly, in the structure. This structural difference is not just the difference between invention patents and other types of patents with low originality, but more of the difference in technical roots, such as the technical content of each patent is distinct. If we only talk about numbers, there is no doubt that the accumulation of patents in some eastern counties is more abundant than in central and western counties. Special industries are generally associated with the endowment of technological resources in the county. Many counties have rich experience in craftsmanship, which will form a featured group economy that drives the development of a large number of related industries, thus forming a long industrial chain and a larger scale of employees. Furthermore, through the government-guided and market-led approach, the personnel working in the special industry will be gathered together to form a large-scale special industrial agglomeration that will be able to secure its own position in the competition when entering the market. Seventh, industrial foundation. We also evaluate the existing industrial foundation of a county as an endowment mainly based on the following two considerations. On the one hand, the existing industrial foundation of the county can be used as a recognition tool for the various endowments discussed above. On the other hand, the industrial structure and its foundation owned by the county are the products of different stages of economic development, and they determine the direction of expanding the related industries in the future. This is the basis for further analysis of intra-industry and inter-industry upgrades. If a county has formed a certain scale of industrial foundation, it means that the region has the corresponding endowments needed to support the development of the industry. Meanwhile, at the county level, due to relatively limited endowments, it is difficult to establish and grow an emerging industry overnight that lacks endowment support and is far from the existing industrial base. Therefore, a county needs to investigate whether it has the basic endowments to support the upgrading of industrial structure and extend existing industries. To achieve a breakthrough in the economic development of a county, it is basically inseparable from the development of industry. The industrial foundation of underdeveloped counties is agriculture, along with the upgrading of the factor endowments, while the developed counties underscore the industry, which the county's economic foundation and potential both lie in. In the end, I'd like to conclude this section with a case of pencil production. We all know that Adam Smith published The Wealth of Nations in 1776, marking the birth of economics, the most well-known allegory of the invisible hand, talking about the division of labor and the coordination of division of labor. Brought up in Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations is probably the article I Pencil. In the December 1958, the Foundation for Economic Education issue of Freeman Magazine, published by the Foundation for Economic Education. The author, Leonard E. Read, 1898 to 1983, founded the Foundation for Economic Education in 1946 and served as chairman until he passed away. I Pencil is his most famous essay. In 1958, Leonard Read mentioned in this fable story, as I quote, "There are about 1.5 billion of my kind produced in the USA each year. If Leonard E. Read were still alive today, what would he think when he knew that a small Chinese county with a population of only some 200,000 is producing billions of pencils every year?" Witnessing the local government in this small county cultivates, supports, grows, and promotes the transformation and upgrading of the local pencil industry agglomeration. By multiple facilitating means, such as establishing industrial parks to overcome the lack of soft infrastructure, actively attracting investment, implementing targeted industrial policies, and even designing tailored policies for each individual enterprise, and so on. How would he rewrite the story about pencils? And the above-mentioned pencil industrial cluster case in Qinyuan County, Zhejiang Province, is actually just one of thousands of cases in China. In the actual county economy, the resource endowments possessed by each county to be analyzed are extremely complex, and their endowment structures are multi-level and multi-dimensional, with great disparity between each of them. The endowment structures between different counties are barely the same. So is the endowment structure of the same county in different time periods. Therefore, it is precisely due to the diversity of endowment structures that determines the diversity of production structure and the diversity of production relations based on this, which is the root of the diversity of structural arrangements that the new structural economics aims to reveal.